S11. Every single year, we eat 92 pounds of chicken per person. You had that, you had that, you had that. It's a remarkable amount of chicken, right? Today, our biggest chicken investigation ever. From farm to table and every step in between, we've assembled a team of chicken experts to give you the truth about your chicken. And you will not believe the surprising things we found. Joining us today on location from Primal Pastures Farm in California is poultry farmer Rob McDaniel. I see all the chickens in the background. They're happily clucking around. And standing by from our own meat department is butcher James Peisker of Porter Road. Hello, James. And then, where the delicious chicken magic really happens, it's in the Dr. Oz kitchen with Chef Roblé, and he's here. We are collecting your questions via text. It's super simple, everybody. I just texted everyone in my contacts. And you know we can text me now. The real viewers, everyone at home, everyone, this is live, right? Send questions throughout the show. I'll try to answer the ones I get. If you're not texting directly with me yet, please text me at the number here. It's right 917-993-5487. We'll try to get the answers to you as quickly as we can. First question is from Shamika in Atlanta, Georgia. Take a look.
I've been making chicken my whole life. Right now, I'm making my Granny Mae's. But here's the thing. These days, the chicken I buy feels a lot tougher. When you bite into it, there's a coarse texture. Why?
I'm getting this question all the time. Why is chicken I'm buying tougher and more coarse and have that sort of odd flavor or color, rather? And I want to address this by going to the boss here, because there's a crisis in American chickens, and we want to get answers on the farm. So, Rob, you have researched this extensively. What's the reason behind this change in chicken texture that a lot of us have experienced? I love the clunking in the background, by the way.
Well, it's called woody breast, and essentially it's a quality issue stemming from a muscle abnormality in a small percentage of chickens raised here in the United States. Woody breast is likely caused by a combination of genetics and tissue injury to the chicken breast during growth and development of the bird. The condition can cause the chicken to be tougher and a lot more firm than we're used to experiencing. It also can cause a pale color and complexion to the chicken breast, and overall just a much poorer quality texture.
So woody breast, as I understand, is a new phenomenon. Why is it happening now, and how's the industry planning to deal with it?
Well, we don't exactly know, but it definitely has the chicken industry worried and frustrated. The major chicken industry is funneling in nearly $250,000 into 4 separate research projects trying to figure out what is causing this.
So I'll give you one thought, if you don't mind. So I know chickens have doubled in size from 1955 to 2015, so it's pretty quick growth. They used to be about 3 pounds right after the Second World War. Now they're over 6 pounds. And one of the theories I've heard, I'm curious what you think about this, is the chickens, because they're so big, they're putting more pressure on their breasts. That might be causing some of the injuries, in addition to the genetic things you mentioned. So are those chickens behind you, are they running around there? Could they be having woody breast problems as well?
So we here at Primal Pastures pride ourselves on raising the highest quality chickens. So we put our birds outside on grass and move them to fresh pasture every single day. I raised over 100,000 chickens this way and have not dealt with woody breast once. So essentially we focus on the animal, the land, and the consumer in the way we raise our chickens. And in doing so, we produce an extremely high quality chicken and have not had to deal with woody breast at all.
Well, thanks for giving us those insights. Someone's texting me, by the way, right now. Let me just read this real quick. They're wanting to know how to get a slow-growing chicken in the grocery store, because they're not going to take one home, one of these guys anyway, on the subway. Good point. They can't come over to the farm and pick them up. So let me head over to butcher James Peisker. How do we actually avoid this woody breast that's making headlines around the country, and it's frustrating everyday cooks?
So there's lots of different things, but knowing what you're going to get and what you're going to buy is the most important step. Buy it from a trusted purveyor. The woody breast syndrome actually affects about 10% of the chicken you buy at the grocery store.
10%?
Up to 10%. So what you really want to look for is something like a pasture-raised bird, something from a trusted purveyor that's going to be out walking around and not have the weight of its body holding itself from being able to walk around.
All right, next question I'm looking at now comes from Diana. Take a look.
What the cluck? My sister buys organic, grass-fed, antibiotic-free, and hormone-free chicken. But she says she's wasting her money. Do these labels even mean anything? The supermarket is full of chicken jargon. I just want to make sure I'm buying the right chicken for my family.
Chicken labels, I mean, do they mean anything? There's so many crazy different ways of describing what you're trying to buy.
So labels do mean something. They are regulated by the USDA. They're regulated by the government. But understanding and figuring out what they all mean is the most difficult part. Ultimately, you want a bird that is a healthy bird. A happy bird is a healthy bird, which is a nutritious bird, which is what we're all looking for in the end result. So when we go to the grocery store, ultimately you want to look for something that's pasture raised. Organic is going to be a good indicator of that, but doesn't always mean that as the case. So pasture raised is a little bit better. Organic is a very good option at most commodity grocery stores. Free range can mean good things, but it can also be a small little garage door on a giant building that the chickens never actually leave out of. So good option, but can be taken the wrong way. Raised without antibiotics is a very, very good option that you see just about everywhere now. It's becoming the new industry standard. So chickens grow at a faster rate when you feed them a bunch of antibiotics. It keeps them healthier because of the conditions that we cause by confining them and putting them inside. Right. So antibiotics gives us a better option, but not always the good.
I gotta say, the colors are different in these different chickens. Is that normal as well? You notice that as a butcher?
So the color is gonna mean a lot of different things, but once again, the industry is gonna be able to manipulate what we do by feeding them a certain different thing. So just because this raised without antibiotics and it's a darker color generally means that the muscle had more work, which developed more of the myoglobin, which is gonna give it that darker color. But this one is saying that it was outside, and this one's not necessarily saying that. Right. So knowing the provider, knowing the purveyor of where you're getting meat from is ultimately the biggest thing. Farm raised is everything. Everything comes from a farm, so that's just saying this animal wasn't grown in a lab, which isn't legal yet. They are trying to do it, but ultimately you need a trusted farmer that is doing his best to make sure that the American public is taken care of. In between that is something that's all natural, which simply means that nothing was added to it after slaughter. Nothing about how it was raised, nothing about how it was fed, nothing.
So farm raised, that doesn't matter, we're taking that down. The other ones mean something, but I gotta say, if you can do it and it doesn't cost a ton extra, organic would probably be the one.
Organic is your best option. Pasture raised is a great option. Also, going to your butcher and knowing where you're getting it from is always, always, always going to be the best.
They'll teach you this stuff. They'll cut it down for you. James, thanks very much. The next chicken question comes from me. That's right, yours truly, because a few months ago, I was on The Breakfast Club, great radio show with Charlamagne the God, and we set social media into a frenzy when I told them, you should not wash your chicken before cooking it. Take a look.
There's no benefit, please.
What you said makes perfect sense, though.
That's what they've been saying in all the articles.
But I still gotta wash my chicken.
No, save some lives here. Come on now. No more. Listen, make that our anthem for the summer. No more washing chicken. Put it in the oven. Let the oven do the work for you.
I've been washing chicken my whole life, and I've never had salmonella.
I know. You wouldn't have had it anyway. You're wasting all that time washing chicken.
You should not wash your chicken before cooking it. Let me show you why. I was having trouble explaining it to Charlamagne, but you'll get this. Raw chicken is often contaminated with potentially harmful bacteria, right? Things like salmonella and campylobacter. You've heard these names. So when you turn the faucet on, right, that water hits the chicken and it splatters, right? Splashes all over the place. And all the bacteria that was on the chicken, it spreads to the plates nearby, to your pizza, to your sandwiches, to your salads, on the countertop, everywhere, right? And this can ultimately cause the bacteria to contaminate other foods you might be eating unsuspectingly, right? If you're worried about bacteria, cook the chicken, because that kills the bacteria. Cook it to 165 degrees. If you splatter on your salad that you're not going to cook to 165 degrees, then you can't protect yourself from those bacterial infections still getting into your belly. Now, Chef Roble, let me ask you, you're an expert in this stuff. Weigh in on this. Do you wash your chicken? It's a big chef.
Well, if it's frozen, I'm going to defrost it. So I'm, in essence, cleaning two birds with one stone. So it's going to be in water so it gets rinsed off. Right. So yes.
But if it's a fresh chicken?
If it's a fresh chicken, I don't really see any purpose in doing that. It's gonna get cooked to 165 degrees. That's gonna kill any kind of microbial life that you wouldn't want to be there. So it's not really necessary.
I'm gonna text out your message to Charlamagne. I want him to hear from you. He didn't listen.
I'll back you up.
You'll back me up. There we go. I got you. All right. Up next, find out how you can get crispy chicken skin without using butter or without frying. Plus, the right way to thaw your chicken. Stick around.
It was a relationship that ended very poorly. Tried to ruin my life.
Revenge porn.
Not only were there topless photos of me, but they had added a Google map to my location.
Plus, what went through your mind when you realized Eric had scammed you out of $50,000.
I was numb. I was in shock. What just happened to me?
Relationship horror stories you have to see to believe. That's coming up tomorrow on Dr. Oz. We are back with our biggest chicken show ever. I'm answering all your chicken questions. And during the break, I got a live text question from Yolanda, who's here in my audience. You know, just ask it yourself. Here, go ahead.
Dr. Oz, I would like to know, is fresh chicken from the butcher better than the grocery store chicken?
Let's bring in James Peisker. It's got to be a real butcher in here. Give us the answer. Come on in, James. All right, take it away. So, is there really that big of a difference if you buy from a grocery store near you or your butcher?
So there is a big difference because ultimately you want to get it from the source as close as possible. So buying it from the farmer or a butcher is going to get you a fresher product in the end because you don't know how long that meat has been sitting on that styrofoam tray on that shelf. So getting it from the source is always going to get a better, higher quality product.
Will you take Yolanda home with you?
Absolutely. I'll even cook you chicken.
All right, how about you? All right, next question comes from a viewer. It's at home. She's a home viewer. I'm a mom of 6 who buys a lot of frozen food to save money. How do I defrost chicken without it tasting weird? What's the best way to thaw chicken, Chef Roble?
Well, I'll give you 2 ways. One is you take it out of the freezer and you just pop it in the fridge. You just let it sit there for a while. It depends. I actually don't like this way. It takes too long.
Yeah, it takes a long. It clutters up the refrigerator, too.
Yeah, it's just, why not just get it done, right? So if you want to get it done, you do this. You submerge it in water. Huh. And the temperature of the water is going to draw the temperature out of the chicken. And if you do this bag method, it keeps stuff from splashing around like you were talking about earlier. Maybe you refill it a couple times, maybe every other hour or so. And then once it's done, you just pour the water out, pat it dry, season it, hit it with a little bit of oil, right?
And you cook it up?
Mm-hmm. Well, and this is also how you make sure you get the nice crispy skin.
If you don't mind, I had text on that.
Yeah?
If you don't mind, this is a question from Tara. Take a look at this.
Okay.
My family loves crispy fried chicken, but I want us to eat healthier, so frying is not an option. I still use butter when I bake it so the skin is crispy, but are there healthier ways to getting crispy chicken skin without frying or using butter?
All right, so crispy skin, no butter, and no frying, right? Anyone can butter and fry it up, baby, but how do you make it crispy without that?
Okay, so she and I were thinking the same thing. So I just sprayed it down with a little bit of olive oil. I'm actually not mad at butter, though. I like butter. Spray it down with a little bit of olive oil, salt and pepper. This is just a good, simple method to make chicken, yeah? And then we're gonna take this and we're gonna roast it off in an oven at 350 degrees until it reaches an internal temperature of 165. That is the temperature where things like salmonella and other little
bad
things
die.
they're gone.
Right.
And you still have a juicy chicken. Please don't do it like, I'm not gonna name some people in my family. They cook the chicken until the skin starts going up the leg and it's just all dry and yeah.
My daughter Daphne says
165.
she says keeps getting a little hotter inside when you take it out, so she stops at about 155, 160.
I actually do. I pull mine at 156, but that's just what I do.
All right, that's good.
The FDA says 165.
But it gets to 165.
It does.
Because if you let it sit for 10 minutes, good. Now, here's the thing. Once you've taken it out at 300 degrees, you gotta you put more olive oil on there. You put it back in again, right? At hotter?
Yes, because each oven is different, right? So if it hits 165 and it's not brown enough for you, just pull it out, turn the oven up to like 425, maybe hit it with a little bit more olive oil, and just pop it in there until it gets nice and brown and brown like me, you know what I'm saying?
Brown like,
yeah.
Good to see that. Oh, I like it. Sure, Roble tastes good. All right, we'll be right back. I love the advice.
All right, man. That is good stuff.
Up next, breaking news on protein. Could you be eating too much? And could it be harming your health right now? We break down a protein prescription to show you how much you really need. Paleo and keto diets are all the rage, but a brand new study is sending shockwaves throughout the medical community. Could high-protein diets be causing more harm than good? Today we investigate. How much protein is too much protein? And could your high-protein diet be dangerous, even deadly? I'm going to bring in best friends, Shah and Jamie, who say they rely on high-protein diets every single day. Shah, why is that? What do you love? protein so much?
I think for me, it keeps me full throughout the day. You don't feel hungry and feel like you want to snack a lot. So that's the biggest thing for me.
And Jamie, how's your life changed since you started on a high protein diet?
Well, I lost a few lbs.
You did? Good for you. It makes you smile more.
It does.
All right, so Shaw and Jamie made a food log for us to see how much protein they're both eating each day. We'll take a look. This is just the data here, right? All right, so Shaw, this is a typical food diary entry for you. I'm going to identify the protein sources here, right? And all these look pretty good, right? There's eggs, avocado has a bit of protein, by the way, some chicken strips, ribeye steak. Is that right?
I did. It was delicious.
and a boiled egg.
Yes.
Now, here's the thing. Since you guys are very close friends, I assume there'd be some overlap. This is Jamie's food diary. And, of course, I did notice some overlap. There's eggs again. But although Jamie added bacon, just a little extra touch there. Also enjoying ribeye steak. Did you guys buy it together?
We were together.
We were together. Some shrimp, boiled eggs. Okay, so if I look at this on the surface, it looks like a pretty reasonable keto paleo diet.
Right.
But when I did the math on this and looked at how many grams of protein you both had, I'll give it to you right now. Shah, you had 92 grams of protein. Jamie, you had about 82 grams of protein.
Wow.
Which is a lot more protein than is generally recommended. It's a concern for a lot of us for different reasons, but this new paper actually changed a lot of minds about how much protein was too much protein. So when you heard about the study that maybe protein could be making you sick, how did that impact both of you, especially when you see these numbers?
I felt like I'm following the guidance of the keto diet and it's making the impact and change, but it does make me a little leery that, it could make me sick and eventually have long-term effects on me. So it kind of makes me want to scale back a little bit. But like I said, ultimately it's doing the job. It's making me lose weight, so.
Well, you know what? I'm not going to take away keto from you, paleo, because if you want to lose those lbs, but I have a little caveat. Okay. So pay attention. This is really important. Maybe bring in nutritionist Kellyanne Petrucci to give us the brand new protein facts. Sean, Jamie are taking notes. Take it away. This paper said shockwaves through the community, but there is actually a hack so you can both honor what this research shows us, but also deal with Jamie and Shaw's desire to continue losing weight. So give me the protein facts.
We're going to get to it today. So here's what we need to know. There's something called sulfur. That's the key word here. There's certain protein that have sulfur-containing amino acids, and they're linking that to cardiovascular disease. So that's where a lot of the concern comes in.
Okay.
Okay?
So specifically.
Specifically. So we also know that scientists are now telling us that we're getting 2.5 times more than we need of these sulfur-rich foods.
All right, so a new study found that cutting down foods with high amounts of sulfur can lead to a longer lifespan. So I'm hearing that we want protein, but we don't want too much sulfur. So are there proteins that don't have a lot of sulfur?
Yeah, there are, but here's the thing. We need to look at where we get our protein.
Yeah, these are all the sources.
Protein. Yeah, the source. And you know what? I'm not convinced from the study that we should cut out all protein that has sulfur in it, these sulfur-based amino acids, because things like chicken, things like salmon, all these proteins that we love. But I think the take-home point here is that we need more plant-based proteins in there. That's the key here.
So I get the concern over the wrong kind of protein, but I would argue that if you have the right protein, you can have keto, paleo, and still not have too much of the sulfur.
So that's the key. There's a lot of imposters out there, or protein imposters, as I call them. You'll find them in processed meats. There's a lot of sugar, there's a lot of additives, think like deli meats, things like that. Protein bars. So with protein bars, you really have to look at the ingredients. Again, a lot of sugar, a lot of junk foods. Exactly. And now we're seeing a lot of these protein junk foods in these bags, these cookies, things like that are all protein cookies. Really look at the labels there because these are not clean proteins. And by the way, if you're trying to lose some weight, these are not the map to get you back on track at all.
But this does work. It's a protein prescription. It's really critical, and it gives you the protein you need without a lot of the things we've been talking about. Like these foods here, you didn't even know had protein in them. They also contain less sulfur amino acids. That's what the experts are all worried about. So Kellyanne, take us through this protein prescription.
So you start out blackberries. Fruit gets a bad rap, but it really does complement a meal with balance, and I love this. Avocado toast. We're all talking about avocado toast. It's delicious for lunch. I love the 3-cup rule. 3 cups of greens, whatever greens you like. Lentils, again, we're thinking more plant-based proteins. Portobello mushrooms, a different flavor, a different taste. This is very easy to put together, and it gives you everything you need. 4 ounces of chicken.
A little bit of meat's fine, but again,
A little bit of
green.
meat, fine. But yeah, but see what else we've got here. We've got the quinoa. We've got all this broccoli that counterbalances.
And most of you look at this table and you say, is that enough protein? This all has protein in it. It has the right amount of protein to get you where you need to be.
Yeah, and even some of the vegetables have protein. If you're saying, I'm still hungry, so maybe add some more calories with some maybe olive oil, drizzle some olive oil, cook with some olive oil, maybe more salad dressings or sauces. That's a smarter way to get the calories that you need. But the bottom line is balance, balance, balance. This is the proper way. Add some plant-based in with some protein, and you're going to feel great.
Thanks, Kelly, and
Yeah,
as always.
thank you.
We'll be right back.
It was a relationship that ended very poorly. Tried to ruin my life.
Revenge porn.
Not only were there topless photos of me, but they had added a Google map to my location.
Plus, what went through your mind when you realized Eric had scammed you out of $50,000?
I was numb. I was in shock. What just happened to me?
Relationship horror stories you have to see to believe. That's coming up tomorrow on Dr. Oz. I'm back with nutritionist Rachel Beller investigating the low-carb sweets hitting the market. Now, there are new ice creams, there are baked goods, even candies that have gotten a carb makeover. But what's in them? How do they do it? Well, we're breaking down what you need to know about these sweet treats, which ones to indulge and which ones to skip. So Rachel looked at a variety of products out there. First of all, how are they going low-carb? How are they getting the sugar out?
Basically, they're using sugar alcohols. They're still pretty natural, but these sugar alcohols like erythritol, sorbitol, xylitol, they're very sweet. Again, you're training your palate to crave sweetness, but also they could have a little bit of side effects. I've had patients of mine complaining of bloating and GI distress, and it really is known. Some people are more sensitive than others. Some people are very sensitive to sorbitol, especially. Erythritol is a little bit more gentle, but these things can stack up. So if typically they have 7, 11 grams of sugar alcohols and you have a few treats a day, you might feel the impact.
Yeah, but then even if you're not sensitive, you eat enough of them, you probably make yourself sensitive.
Yes,
so be thoughtful about it.
absolutely.
But they look good, and if this is the little hack you need to get through your day and not feel like you're in purgatory while you're on a keto diet, go ahead and go for it.
In moderation, just a little bit.
Right now, there's a really hot low-carb sweet out there these days. It's actually found in your freezer because it's ice cream.
Yes.
There's keto ice cream. Hold yourselves back now. I was really dubious about this. So explain what keto ice cream is all about.
So it starts like regular ice cream. You've got your cream, your milk, your non-fat milk, sometimes coconut. So the base is pretty much the same. He's already diving in. And
if it doesn't taste good, who cares?
There are other ingredients in there. Carrageenan, for example, that's an emulsifier. Again, could cause inflammation of the intestine. So you just want to be looking out for the ingredients. I see that you like it.
Yeah, I gotta say, it's much better than I expected.
Yeah, no, they're good, but they're also rich in calories as well. So, and fats, a lot of fats.
Let's put some numbers on this. I looked it up because it's almost too good to be true, because it sort of is, actually. 17 grams of fat, 200 calories in a serving of keto ice cream. That may be more calories than a serving of regular ice cream. We got to be thoughtful about the fact that keto ice cream is still a treat. You're not going to get through the day with keto ice cream because you'll be keto and still gain weight. You'll break.
Absolutely.
You'll change the orthodoxy. But if you're on a keto diet, once in a while, not a bad idea. But if you're not in a keto diet, off. So you got a little hack that might actually work, even if you want to be on the keto diet and have a little bit more than normal.
Exactly. So at my office at Beller Nutrition, we call it the flip it method. So we flip the agenda. Usually people start with ice cream, and then they put their toppings. What we're doing is we're starting with a base of berries, which are also low in carbohydrates. So
I didn't believe, Rachel, when she told me that. I looked it up, and this is half the calories of blueberries, which stunned me.
He questioned it, but it's, you know, it's good. You know, berries are very generous.
But they taste sweet even though they don't have sugar in them.
Yes,
All right, so
they have a little bit.
Put your berries in there.
So you put some berries in there. And then you put, I'm going to be conservative, a dollop, like a little bit.
Just a little dollop.
Yeah.
And then some of these, you love these slivers of almonds.
I love these slivered almonds. Use them on everything. They're crunchy, they're great.
Nobody will know.
This is
Nobody
great.
will know.
The flip it method. So simple.
All right, low-carb baked goods are next. Some of these cookies and brownies have a lot of fiber, but you say it's cheaters fiber. It's not the regular stuff.
I call it cheaters because some of these brownies could have 8, 10, you know, they have a lot of fiber. So you're wondering like, well, there's no flax seeds, there's no chia seeds, where's it coming from? So it's coming from manufactured fibers. So guar gum is one, inulin, and they're not bad for you. They are prebiotics, they're good for your gut, but you can't rely on them for your fiber source. You can't cheat your way out of whole fruits and vegetables and high fiber foods. You need insoluble, soluble. It's a dynamic duo that works together, so you can't cheat the system and eat a few brownies and stack up all these grams of fiber.
But again, small hacks like this, probably worth considering.
Yes.
As long as it's not your main diet source.
It's not, that's exactly right.
Radia is here. Now, Radia it's sort of interesting because you've been on a keto diet for about a year, and you say you are just tired of bacon and making all your own food because there's nothing out there that's processed that's healthy enough for you to eat.
Right, I'm so tired of baking, Dr. Oz. I bake everything from scratch. Ever since I started my keto diet, I've been baking because I don't trust what's out there. So I wanted to know, is there anything that I can have, like an on-the-go snack?
By the way, have you done well in the keto diet?
I lost 75 pounds.
How much?
75 pounds.
You buried the lead. You should walk out on stage and say, I lost 75 pounds. Exactly.
Right.
75 pounds like this. And then they're just going to copy you. That is so cool.
Yeah. Congrats.
All right, so I think we have an answer. And Rachel looked high and low.
Yes.
And you found a packaged, baked, low-carb sweet treat that you say is fantastic.
You know, it's great, it's clean, and that should excite you, actually.
And it is
These are keto bites. You've got cacao butter. You've got a little MCT oil that's easily absorbed by the body. You've got monk fruit as your sweetener. You've got cacao, pure cacao.
You better taste one of them.
Cacao is packed with antioxidants.
And I'm going to tell the truth.
I know, but if you don't lose 75 pounds without telling the truth to yourself anyway.
There's no cheater here.
These are delicious.
Aren't they great?
They're delicious.
So these are a lot of fun and simple.
And they're available now. Go online, check them out. Different companies making them. Find stuff you like. Guys, people are trying to do the right thing for you. Do your homework, find out what works, spread the wisdom, tell us about it. You know, our newsletter talks about these all the time, so sign up, exchange ideas with us. We'll try to share your wisdom as well. For more low-carb approved products, sign up for that newsletter. We'll be posting a full list there. Rachel, thanks as always.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
We'll be right back. Who wants some of these? Who wants some of these?
What happens when you almost die?
I entered this realm that was filled with light.
Shocking near-death experiences, only on Oz.
That's coming up Friday. We've been investigating store-bought hummus, and the latest hummus to hit shelves is a savory sweet combo that's been called a new food trend to watch. Dessert hummus. Who would imagine this? The first thing we all want to do is figure out what does it actually taste like. So we brought in some women who admit to having a sweet tooth to do a little taste test for us. And Can they guess that they're actually eating chickpeas? That's the big question for me. Take a look.
It looks like some fudge, I would say, maybe some icing.
I guess like a dessert, maybe a pudding?
That's right, it's frosting, right?
Maybe like cocoa or something.
It's sweet, but not too sweet.
Avocado, chocolate, and a little bit of flour.
It reminds me of a souffle. It's that light. Get out. Dessert hummus?
Really? Oh my God, really?
That is different.
No. Wow. Yeah, would have never thought that.
Chef and hummus expert Michael Salman is back. What exactly is dessert hummus, please?
I wish I could be more enthusiastic about this, but I feel like this is just a reason for people to like eat cookie dough and justify it because you add chickpeas to it. So garbanzo beans, great, very important, tons of protein, tons of fiber, almost, half the amount of sugar, not great, and then like a bunch of crazy spices or seasonings. I don't get it. I know that people love it. I've tasted it before. I made fun of it and then had another taste of it just because it's brownie butter and cookie, but I'm not a huge fan. I do think it's got to be a little bit healthier than eating straight like cookie dough or brownie butter because of the chickpeas, but this is not a health food.
Well, to your point, you got fiber in there, you have protein in there. Those are good, but you junk it up with all these other dessert type stuff, lookalikes, and I think it has the raw materials to be better, which is what was intriguing to me.
Well, I mean, if you cut the sugar and you add honey, then you've got something, People add, the Moroccan chefs make a dip with almond and argan oil and chickpeas that's an actual dip that's healthy. But this is not, this is just a reason to eat hummus or actually have dessert and call it hummus.
But I have an idea. Thanks, by the way, very much. I'm going to challenge my viewers. We got a couple Bike Club members, a mother-daughter duo. They're going to come up with dessert hummus hacks, new ways to make the traditional pitfall desserts a little healthier. By the way, Pat, how are you?
Hi.
So you just heard a world-class chef, the hummus expert of the planet, saying he's worried about dessert hummus, but you took it, made it a little differently, and you're hacking the canned icing, which we know isn't good for us.
Correct.
So what did you do?
I made my Aunt Rosie's pistachio cake.
Oh, I love pistachio cake.
And I wanted to add a healthy twist to it, so I mixed hazelnut spread with some hummus, and then
Hey, let me help you.
Oh, thank you. It's
All right.
very rich, and it's very nutty.
Oh, look at this, guys. First of all, the pistachio is my favorite nut.
Oh,
right?
of
In terms
course.
of for taste.
Of course. And it's guilt-free because of the extra protein from the chickpeas.
And you hacked the hummus a little bit so it's not all sugar, like
Correct.
the chef was worried about?
That's correct.
I'll tell you,
I just use a small amount of the hazelnut spread.
I didn't tell you this, but this is actually a competition, so it's mother against daughter, not mother-daughter duo.
Uh-oh.
So let's go to Kelly here. She used dessert hummus to make her favorite dessert, which is ice cream, a little healthier. What do you got?
So I love ice cream, so I'm definitely skeptical about healthy ice cream, but I had to give it a shot. So I combined dessert hummus with frozen bananas to make some ice cream, and I even added some pretzels to give it that salty, savory, crunchy taste. And my brother even believed that it was real ice cream.
First of all, being able to trick your brother, that's extra credit points. That's a special joy I know from daughters. Yeah, I gotta say, this is spectacularly good, and I did not expect it. These two should be served together. You guys should open up a deal together.
Okay.
You can make a little hummus restaurant, a dessert hummus restaurant.
Perfect.
Kudos to you, and congratulations for making this great daughter. Who can trick her brother.
Thank you, Dr. Oz.
Big thank you to Chef Michael Salman. His latest cookbook is called Israeli Soul. Make sure to check it out. Remember, hummus is where the heart is. It always has been. Be right back.
It was a relationship that ended very poorly. Tried to ruin my life.
Revenge porn.
Not only were there topless photos of me, but they had added a Google map to my location.
Oh my. That's coming up tomorrow. We're back with breaking news about your #1 cheat food. Who wants to read this part here? Who wants to, a budding journalist? Oh, perfect. Stand up. What's your name?
Sabina.
Sabina, stand down here. Okay, ready? You gotta read like that. What does the prompter say?
There may be a French fry shortage.
Did she read that right, everybody? You can all see it. It's a little scary, isn't it?
Yeah.
Could there really be a French fry shortage?
I hope not.
Well, we were sent this video from on the ground in Idaho just to give you an idea of how this all started. Take a look. Here we
we are helping the neighbor out today, middle of a snowstorm. Any of the spuds that aren't dug today will probably not be harvested at all.
Everyone, I know that looks pretty bad, but let's get the fry facts out before we stress out over this. Joining us now with the answers is the president of the Idaho Potato Commission, Frank Muir. He won't mind me telling you that he has eyes everywhere. You see what I'm doing there, Frank? So explain why there's a fear we will have a French fry shortage.
Thank you, Dr. Oz. Yes, all eyes are on Idaho right now. Everyone knows that Idaho is the #1 producer of potatoes in America. Each year we harvest our potatoes from late summer through late fall. This year, though, Mother Nature threw a bit of a curveball at us. In early October, we got hit with 3 days of really intense frost. But fortunately, our farmers worked overtime. As you saw from the video, they worked together. They worked through the night to get as much of our harvest into storage as possible. We were able to secure 85%, roughly 85% of our harvest into our storage sheds before that frost hit. About 15% was affected by the frost. But if you take that 85% that we saved, it's a very, very good quality crop. It represents about 13 billion pounds of these potatoes. And just put in perspective, if you took that pile of 13 billion pounds, you put it into one big pile, you dropped it in the top of your favorite football stadium, it'd fill it end zone to end zone 1 mile high. So we got a lot of good quality potatoes still.
Well, you have given me hope. I feel much better about our French fry shortage. Thank you very much, Frank. Good luck to you. All right, now, assuming that we catch up with the demand, registered dietitian Carrie Glassman is back with the results of our very important fry survey. I have to tell you something. That gentleman, Mr. Muir, he looks like my earth science teacher from high school. Mr. Tapp, I'll never forget him, and he would always say, he was from Idaho. He'd say, Idaho potatoes are the best.
Well, I think they are probably, right? And I think he just made a lot of people happy.
He did. A mile high, football stadium wide. It's not even in Denver. It's all over the country. Be happy. All right, so what are the options? We did a poll.
We took a poll of Dr. Oz viewers to find out what they thought were the healthiest potatoes. And usually people pick the fry that is their favorite.
So let's go find out what you all thought was the truth. Here are the options. Come on back here. We got skinny fries, and we have steak fries, and we have crinkle fries, and we have shoestring fries, pretty commonly used, curly fries, waffle fries. You all know which ones you want. You don't have to vote now because your brethren already did it for you, did it online. What did our viewers vote for? They're pretty smart.
Okay, so these viewers chose the steak fries.
These?
The steak fries right here.
Now, is that the right choice? Break it down for us.
Okay, so it turns out that Dr. Oz viewers are pretty smart because steak fries are the healthiest choice. And that's because there is the lowest surface area to volume. Think about it. When you're eating a steak fry, you taste that potato, right? Yep. You don't taste as much fry, as opposed to what people sometimes choose as the healthier fry because they're smaller are the shoestring fries. But think about it, when you have a shoestring fry, you're tasting all fry. You're not tasting potato, right? So that's why this is the least healthy option.
Because there's so much surface area, wherever you fry it, the oil's getting into the middle of the potato.
Exactly.
All right, is this Freaky Friday, or are you just playing? No, you're punking me here. Are you encouraging French fry consumption?
Okay.
Or are there hacks to get past this?
I am definitely not encouraging French fry consumption, although you know me, and I think when you have a real craving, you go for a little bit of the real thing. However, there are some better options. Traditional French fries are going to have about up to 14 grams of fat in a serving. There are
a lot of fat, guys.
But
serving.
There is an amazing hack out there. Air fryers have become really popular right now, and a serving of air-fried potatoes to make French fries is going to be about 2 grams of fat per serving. So an air fryer is really a pretty amazing option for people out there that just can't get rid of that fried, crunchy craving.
These make immense sense to me from a caloric perspective. How do the taste compare?
The taste is really pretty good because it's really about that crispness, right? Yep. And I think if that's what you're going for, it tastes really good. Use some good Idaho potatoes.
Exactly, big ones. A lot of viewers complain because they don't have shelf space. It's just hard to make more room for this, plus they can cost you something. So if you don't have an air fryer, what do you do?
So you can just use your oven and put it to the convection setting, and that hot air circulates and is going to give you that same crunchy potato flavor. That's
works?
what I have to do. I don't have room for this in my kitchen.
Oh, I like that idea.
Yeah.
We could all do that. At least give it a chance, guys, before you start moaning and groaning about the fact you don't have your fried stuff ready the way you often have it. Thank you very much, Carrie. For healthy tips, you can visit Carrie's Nutritious website. It's actually called nutritiouslife.com for good reason. We'll be right back. Coffee. Many of you can't imagine a morning without a cup, or let's be real, many cups of it. Coffee's been linked to a lower risk of heart disease, diabetes, and certain cancers. Now researchers say the key to extracting more of these benefits may actually be the way you brew it. So today, what's the healthiest way to brew your coffee? Is it using a drip coffee maker with a filter? Is it a French press or boiling your coffee over the stove? Well, a recent study in the European Journal of Preventive Cardiology found brewing coffee with a filter was linked to a 15% reduced risk of dying prematurely from any cause, compared to a 9% reduction if you didn't use a filter. What is it about a filter that might explain this difference? Well, a lot of you will be shocked to find out what researchers found in coffee. There is a compound in coffee that can raise bad cholesterol levels. It's found in the oils and the sediment in your coffee grounds. But using a filter can keep them out of your cup. So if you want the healthiest brew, use a filter. To make sure you're filtered right and your coffee tastes the best, clean out your coffee maker daily. Descale your coffee maker at least once a month to get rid of the buildup. You can do that by mixing equal parts of water and white vinegar in your coffee maker. Just run it through the coffee maker. And I have one more secret to make your brew taste better. If you want to sweeten your coffee without adding sugar, try a Turkish twist. Add ground cardamom to your coffee. You will love the taste. Remember, everybody, the power of change lies in the power of you. Just one person, just one voice speaking the truth. Stay safe, everybody.